Hello everyone, welcome to Autodesk Inventor part design tutorial for beginners. This part includes basic extrude feature, rib, fillet, draft and hole features. I am going to discuss how to position concentric hole and linear holes without creating a sketch in this tutorial. Stay tuned. To start off, go ahead and open up new part file. From this create new file dialog box, select the standard part template with unit millimeters and click on create. This is Inventor 2021. This will take us to Inventor part design environment. This is Inventor part design environment. Let's begin the sketch. Begin with the base extrusion. We can begin with clicking on extrude command. So it will take us to select a plane for the sketch. You can always read the instruction from this status bar. Select plane to create sketch. So I will create this top plane, extrude plane. You notice that this part is symmetrical about one axis, so we can make use of the symmetry of this part to create some of the features. Like this hole feature, we can use mirror command to create one side. So keeping that in mind, go to rectangle, expand rectangle tool and select center rectangle. Draw a rectangle and put some dimensions on. Right click and select dimensions. Make this dimension 30 mm and double click middle mouse button to zoom all in and make this dimension 60 mm. Click enter. Go to home view and see if the orientation is okay and exit the sketch by clicking on finish sketch command. Now it will take us directly onto the property extrusion property panel, since we had started the command with the extrude command. So now the profile is already created and direction is okay. The direction is really not that important for this model, and the distance, make it 5 mm. Preview looks good, click OK. Now the second feature. Let's create the extruded part with the draft. Click on this surface, right click, new sketch. In this time, select 2-point rectangle and draw a rectangle. Add horizontal dimensions, horizontal constraint. Click on the midpoint of this line and origin. Right click, select general dimensions, make this 13 mm and make this dimension 30 mm. Click enter. The sketch is completed. Click on finish sketch command. Under 3D model tab, select extrude and the extrusion height is 30 mm. Profile is selected automatically. Direction is okay. Extrusion distance 30 mm. Click OK. Now before we apply the draft feature, let's go ahead and create the other extrusion, this part with the fillet. Select this surface, right click, new sketch, select 2-point rectangle, draw a rectangle from this point to this point. So click on collinear constraint, select this point, this line and this line. These two lines are collinear. And select dimension command, make this dimension 30 millimeters. Click enter. The sketch is black, that means it is fully constrained. Exit the sketch. Under 3D model tab, select extrude command. This time we need to flip the direction. Under the direction, click on flipped, and the height of the extrusion is just 5 millimeters, and make it 5. Preview looks good. Click OK. Now let's add fillet command, fillet feature. These two, it is good practice to lay this fillet and chamfers toward the end of the model, but for this model we need to create this fillet feature first before we apply the draft. So radius 12.5 millimeters. Go ahead and click on fillet command to launch fillet dialog box. Under selection, select this edge and select this edge, and the radius, make it 12.5 millimeter. Preview looks good. Apply and cancel to exit the command. Now let's apply the draft feature. To apply the draft feature, click on the command under 3D model tab, draft command, and this is face draft dialog box. There are 3 options. I am going to use fixed plane option, the third option. I'm not going to discuss about the other 2 options in this tutorial. And fixed plane option, keep one plane fixed and the other selected faces make slanted. Select this face to fixed, select this top face, and under faces to draft, this arrow become red. That means we need at least one selection to go ahead. So let's select this surface and this surface. So this draft is opposite to this draft, so we change the direction, flip the full direction. Alright, and the draft angle is 5 degrees, 85, 90 minus 85, so make it 5 degrees. Preview looks good, and go ahead and click apply. Draft is applied, and cancel to exit the command. Go to home view. Alright, now we will go ahead and create this extrusion. Click on this surface, right click, new sketch. Go to circle command, draw a circle. Right click, add dimensions, make it 25 millimeters. Click enter and click on move. Select the circle, select the base point. Under base point, select this point and bring it over here. Click on done, and one more dimensions, 18 millimeter from this edge to the center. Right click, select general dimensions, select this edge and select this point, make it 18 millimeters, and right click, click OK. Now the sketch is still purple. If you select the sketch, and you can actually move this circle, it is not fully constrained. So let's add horizontal constraint between this point and the origin. Click on horizontal constraint, select the center of the circle and select the origin. Now it is fully defined. Go ahead and click finish sketch and select extrude command. The height of the extrusion is 10 millimeters. You can either enter over here, down here, and click on 10. Preview looks good and click OK. Go to home view. Next feature is the rib. Let's create the sketch on XY plane. Select the plane, right click and select new sketch. It will take us to Inventor sketch environment and select line command and draw a line from this point to this point. Make sure the constraints are added automatically by hovering your mouse over these 2 points. Right click and click OK. Now the sketch is completed, but before we go ahead and click on finish sketch, shift middle mouse button to rotate the part. You can see there are 2 lines that is projected onto the sketch. When we create relations between 3D geometry and the sketch, the relevant geometrical segment is projected onto the sketch. So we can leave them as is in some situation, but when we create the rib, it will give us undesirable result. So we will convert this line to constructions lines. Select this line and click on construction, and select this line and click on constructions. Now we have only one line for this sketch. Go ahead and click finish sketch. Now we can apply the rib command. You can find the rib command under 3D module tab, create panel. This rib command, click on rib command. So the sketch, the profile is already selected. When there is only one unconsumed sketch profile, usually Inventor pick that profile by default. And there are 2 options over here. One is normal to sketch plane. The extrusion will happen normal to sketch plane, but we need the other options. We need the extrusion to happen parallel to sketch plane. And over here we have to select the directions. Most of the time, if you cannot see the preview, that means it is the other directions. So this is the direction we want. And under these 3 options, select mid plane, since we created the sketch on mid plane. And thickness value, enter the thickness value 6 millimeters. Alright, you have it. The preview looks good. Click OK. Go to home view. Now our part is almost completed. Let's create hole features. I am not going to create any sketch to create the hole. We can create holes without creating a sketch. So we will begin with this hole, which is a concentric hole, and go ahead and click on hole command. Now we have to select a position. You can see this blue line under the text indicate that it is sort of activated. So we have to select the position, and also you can read it from this status bar, add hole points. So I'm go ahead and select this point. The hole is added, but it is not positioned properly. We just need only one hole of this size. Now let's see how we can do that. Go ahead and look at this status bar again. Add hole point, or select a linear or circular edge to add a constraint. So this one we have got circular edge to position, so select this edge. Here we go. Now you can see the constraint is created between the hole position and the circular edge and make it concentric. Now the hole is positioned correctly. Let's go ahead and change other parameters from this property panel. The hole type we need is a simple hole. This hole seating is none. We don't need counter bow or counter sink holes. Termination, we need, if you look at this drawing, the hidden line stop here. That means this hole stops on this surface. So at the termination, up to and select this surface. Select this one and click on this and select this surface. And drill point is flat, the bottom of the hole is flat, and the diameter is 15 millimeter. Everything looks good and click OK. Hole is created. Now let's create the other linear holes. Those are positioned linearly, so that's why I call them linear holes. Go ahead and click on hole command again. Again, this position box is activated. We have to select the points. I will go ahead and select 3 holes, create 3 holes. There are 3 holes are created. So when you click on each hole, you can see that is activated. So we can activate one hole at a time. So let's see the next step. So you can see here again, select linear or circular edge to add a constraint. So I will select this hole and select this edge. You can see that the distance between the center of the hole and to the edge is 5.9 millimeters. So from this drawing we can see it is 7.5. Go ahead and enter 7.5. You can see the preview is changed. Now we will do the same thing to this hole. Select this hole and select this edge again. Make it 7.5. Preview is changed. And select this hole and select this edge and enter the value 7.5. And now we have added dimensions to this edge and this edge. So we have to position these holes with reference to this edge. So now this hole is activated. Select this edge. The distance is 6.8. Enter 7.5. This hole is positioned according to the drawing. So now activate this hole by clicking on this point and select this line. Make it 7.5 and select this hole and this edge again. The center of the distance between the center of this hole to this edge is 20 millimeters. Enter 20 millimeters. Here we go. Now the holes are positioned correctly. Let's go ahead and change the other parameters from this property panel. You can see this hole is socket head cap screw M6 through all 6 holes. There are 6 holes, but here the diameter is 6.6 millimeter. So this indicate the hole type. So this is the hole. The diameter of the hole is bigger than the screw size. That means we have to select the clearance hole, and the seating, we don't see any counter sunk or counter bow type holes over here, so the seating type is none. And from standard, when you select, you can notice that when you select this clearance hole type, there is new set of parameters become available to set up the hole type. So under standard, I make it matrix and fastener type select socket head cap screw, the size, change the size to M6 and fit type normal, and termination, this hole goes all the way through, make it through all, and the directions okay. Now you can see when we create M6 hole, the diameter of the actual hole is 6.6 millimeters, creating a 0.6 millimeter clearance. All the parameters are adjusted accordingly. We position holes correctly using selecting each edges and creating constraint dimensional, adding dimensional constraint according to the drawing. Preview looks good and click OK. Here we go. Now the last step, last feature, last 2-3 features. There are a few more features anyway. We will create the other 3 holes using mirror command. We can make use of the symmetry of this part. Go ahead and select mirror. This will activate mirror dialog box. So there are 2 options. Use the first option, mirror individual features. Under feature to select, you can see this button is highlighted from these dotted lines around the arrow. When you click on this one, this is activated. So this is activated by default to select features. Go ahead and select hole feature, hole 2. You can select them from the graphic window or you can select them from the browser. Here we go. Now the arrow become white. That's when we can move forward. Now we have to select the mirror plane. Go ahead and activate it and select XY plane. Here we go. Now the preview looks good and click OK. You have it. Go to home view and let's add the final fillet features. These 4 corners has got 6 millimeter radius fillets. Click on fillet command and enter radius 6 millimeter and select these 4 edges. Alright, go ahead and click apply. Now we have 2 millimeter fillet added around these edges. So we have got total 8 fillet edges. So we can enter, go ahead and select this, enter the value 2 millimeter radius and now select the edges. We can select this edge and this edge, this edge, this edge. You can either use mirror command or you can select these edges without creating mirror. So I selected all the edges and click apply. Preview, shift middle mouse button to rotate. Preview looks good and click cancel to exit the command. Go to home view and add the color. You can add the color appearance from this quick access toolbar from this drop down list. Click on the arrow to expand the list and add the color you want and go to home view. Finally save the part. I will use the same part name and click save. Yes. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and you have understood how to position concentric and linear holes without actually creating a sketch. Please like, comment and subscribe. Click on notification icon to get more videos. Thank you for watching.